We do have breaking news tonight, a deeply divided moment playing out in American history as we come on the air. President Trump has just been impeached on both Article 1, abuse of power, and on Article 2, obstruction of Congress. The votes down party lines as predicted. And all day long here, we've been watching the short bursts of anger, the closing arguments from both sides. Democrats arguing the evidence was clear, arguing the president used the power of his office for personal and political gain with this election coming. Republicans asking where is the evidence of a crime, and the Democrats have wanted this since day one. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who repeatedly resisted impeachment, changing her mind after that call with the president of Ukraine, saying the president gave us no choice.
Chants of anger and defiance echo through Tahrir Square. Friends of Hyde Ali and Bandar Sharki demand their return and accountability for those responsible for their disappearance. The two university students and demonstrators went missing on December 13th after they left Tahrir Square to meet an unknown person who had called to make a donation to their cause. Nobody has heard from them since.
Is he kidnapped? Is he alive? Is he dead? We don't know. They both previously got assassination and arrest threats.
The journey to find a missing person begins here at the Iraqi Lawyers Union. We accompany Raif's father, who traveled to Baghdad from the southern city of Karbala, as he registers his son's case.
Well, we begin with breaking news out of Libya. The UN-recognised government says it will accept an offer of military support from Turkey. The Tripoli-based administration is fighting an offensive by warlord Khalifa Haftar, whose forces are trying to capture the capital. Schools in the southern district of Abu Salim in Tripoli have now been suspended. The municipality says it's because of sporadic fighting and shelling by Haftar's forces.
Police in India have taken hundreds of people into custody for defying a ban on protests against a controversial new citizenship law. The ban was imposed after protests in 2 states turned violent last week. Now, the law offers citizenship to immigrants from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan escaping religious persecution, but it does not include Muslims. Communication networks and transport have been shut down amid the ongoing demonstrations.
Defiant, they came out to protest. And peacefully they resisted. People across the country refused to be deterred by the protest ban. They say the new law makes religion a basis for granting Indian citizenship and discriminates against Muslims. They believe it threatens the secular nature of Indian democracy.
South Korea will not accept Washington's demand to shoulder defense costs that occur outside of the peninsula. Seoul's chief negotiator on the matter reiterated the framework of their deal must be maintained. His comments came a day after his American counterpart explained its stance to the local press.
South Korea's chief negotiator for defense cost-sharing says Seoul will not accept U.S. demands to pay for expenses incurred outside of the Korean peninsula. Speaking to reporters on Thursday, Chung Eun-bo said that would go beyond the framework of the cost-sharing deal between Seoul and Washington.
We made it clear that South Korea cannot share the costs of American troops stationed abroad or matters related to readiness. We are firm on our stance that the framework of our cost-sharing deal in place for 28 years must be maintained. Our views on the matter are different.
Well, 37 years after London's deadly Hyde Park bombing, an IRA member has been found responsible. The decision paves the way for the victims' families to claim damages, but today they're just relieved. The fight for justice is finally over.
One of the worst IRA atrocities in Britain. July 20, 1982, a nail bomb was detonated at Hyde Park as the changing of the guard procession rode past, killing 4 men and 7 horses. 2 hours later, a second bomb at Regent's Park killed 7 members of the Royal Green Jackets Band. Today, the High Court ruled convicted IRA member John Downey was liable for the Hyde Park bomb.
in a civil case brought by the daughter of Lance Corporal Jeffrey Young. He died along with Corporal Major Roy Bright, Lieutenant Dennis Daly and Trooper Simon Tipper, aged just 19.
Let me tell you what happens when the government tries to take away people's guns. This is not hypothetical. You can see it happening right in front of your eyes in the state of Virginia. Virginia Democrats won control of the state government in the 2018 midterm elections. Democrats now control the state assembly, they control the state senate, and they own the governor's seat. And what are the Democrats doing now that they have gained control of the state? Well, they're trying to shove through gun control. Oh, they call it common sense gun violence prevention legislation, but we all know what that means. The Democrats are trying to ban guns. First, they invented a definition for so-called assault firearms. Then they claim assault firearms, by definition, the definition they made up, are too dangerous for people to own. So they write legislation to ban firearms. This means AR-15s and other semi-automatic rifles will be illegal to own if that legislation becomes law.
And a Philippine court has found top members of a political clan guilty on multiple counts of murder over a mass killing in 2009. 58 people, 32 of them journalists, were killed when a convoy of vehicles was attacked in the southern province of Maguindanao. Now, around 100 people have been on trial over that massacre, many of them linked to a politically powerful family in the province. The mass killing was the single biggest attack on journalists in history.
We are here outside the court in Taguig City, Metro Manila, where a promulgation of a 10-year case was recently handed down. The primary suspects of the crime, members of the Ampatuan political clan in southern Philippines, are found guilty and are sentenced to up to 40 years in prison. Some of their accomplices are also found guilty and are sentenced to up to 10 years in prison.
Hong Kong police have shut down a shell company that was believed to be laundering money for personal gain and to fund the city's anti-government protests. 3 men and 1 woman have been arrested.
Local media say Spark Alliance had raised funds for anti-government protests, including helping protesters with medical and legal fees. Police have frozen $9 million from local bank accounts linked to the shell company.
Officers say the money was used to buy personal insurance policies and could also have been spent on paying people to join the city's anti-government protests. During their operation, police seized over $20,000 in supermarket vouchers, arrows and protest gear, including helmets and gas masks.
Joined on the line by Hawks spokesperson Hangwani Mrauzi just to get more clarity on this news coming in. Mr. Mrauzi, thank you so much for your time. Let's just get straight into perhaps the number, firstly, of former Eskom managers that have been arrested.
Hi, Tumelo. Thank you for having me. Look, Tumelo, we have 2 former executives from Eskom that have been arrested. There are also individuals or company directors that have also been added. Bringing the number to 4 for now, that we have managed to secure for their appearance in court in Johannesburg today. We also have litigated about 7 companies that we believe were forming part and parcel of the corruption that was taking place in Kusile.